Hey everyone, it's Nelson Miller here with PA Creative. Today I have a quick Divi Pro Tip, and this is kind of a trick one. So we are going to make the entire Divi blog grid, the individual post in the grid, clickable. So right now you can go and you can hover, I think you can click the image and the title, and then if you have the read more button, you can click there. But if you're hovering over anything else, it's not going to be a hyperlink. So this little trick kind of adds a pseudo class to the whole thing, and then makes the whole thing clickable. And I actually use it on PA Creative there on the blog grid, so you can check that out as an example. But let's get started and show you this. It's kind of quick, but it's important for you to understand also what it's doing, so I'll show you that as well. So by default, the individual blog posts in the Divi Blog Module have a couple of things that link to the post. So when you hover over, you can see the read more button, the title, you can see the cursor changing to the hand, and the image. So like, in other words, if I just hover over this area here or this area here or anywhere around here, it's not turning into a link. I can't click. There's nothing there to click. It's not a link. So again, if I wanted to go visit the blog post, the read more button, link, and the image. So we want to make it the entire thing, and we're going to use a little trick, and I'll just try to explain it the best I can. And by the way, if you're on YouTube, make sure you're getting the blog post open. That's linked in the description. I kind of explained it here, and then of course the snippet. So basically this isn't available. There's no setting to turn this on, make it all clickable. I really like it over on our blog. If you're anywhere on the main blog or in any of the categories, you see how it happens when I hover over this. I have a hover effect, too. So, and I guess that's kind of related, because having that hover effect, let's say I had it changed to that green color and I had the title change, but yet didn't have it clickable. That would be really confusing. It would be like tricking the user, So if I'm clicking here and if I see the animation, the change of color, and it's not clicking, that's terrible user experience. So I'm kind of, of course we're adding all these tutorials in the Divi blog module for a reason. And we're building up to an ultimate Divi blog grid. But anyway, I want to show you how to change it, and it's actually a trick. So there you go. Go visit, pacreative.com/blog for the live example. But over here, I'm going to actually be working through it. So let's go ahead and enable it. And the trick is that we're actually making the title, or we're actually adding a pseudo class to the title, and then we're stretching the title to be full width, so 100% height and width of this individual blog post. So it's kind of a trick. It's kind of cool. So again, if you're using our child theme, you're going to be able to paste this snippet in there in the style.css file or in theme options, custom CSS. So let's go ahead, grab the snippet, and then we'll kind of walk through it. So over on the blog post, just grab that, and then I'm going to just add it here to my page CSS so that we can see this and make it quicker. I already have my code in here for the read more button. Again, that was a previous tutorial. In fact, right here it is at its current time when I'm recording this. It's right here, how to style and customize the Divi blog read more button. We talked about, changing the link into a button and adding an icon and actually changing the text. So that's in here yet, and that's okay because I like it. So we just added this in here. The first thing we did, we just added a necessary position feature there. But then the main thing here is just this, and we're targeting the title, entry title, and then the link, and then after. So we're adding a pseudo class, and we're positioning it absolute, and then displaying it as a block. The content is nothing because we don't really want there to be content. We just want it to be like an invisible thing. And the width and height are 100%, and the left and top is where it's positioned. So that's just a way in the CSS of saying that it's covering the entire thing. but you can't really see it. And that's the beauty of it. So essentially we just literally made the link of the title, the whole thing. Just imagine like when you hover over it now, you're clicking the link. Yeah. So anyway, we also needed to add the cursor pointer CSS because that's the little hand thingy that indicates a link. So that's what that's doing there. So now I'm just going to save this and show you that it works here on my demo. All right, and you remember how it was before. I could hover over anything and it wasn't linking in this. It was the button, title, and image. So here we go. You can see my mouse is changing. So let's just go ahead and test it. Click there, right in the middle of nowhere. And sure enough, we're taken to the blog page. So if you want to make it a little more like this one, where like when you hover, things are happening, and in fact, just changing anything else. I mean, you can do some of this in Divi. Some of it you're going to need to do with CSS. In fact, let me just show you an example. Let's say I wanted to change the button there, the effect when I hover over it. Let's say I wanted that to apply when I hovered over any part of the post. So right now I have it so that when I hover over just the link, so back in that code, and again, that's in the other tutorial, but I'm just going to say hover. So ETPB post hover and then the link instead of having hover at the end. And that's when that'll happen. So now see, when I just hover over this blank area, it changes. That's the kind of thing you can do. So you'll start with the ETPB post and then hover. And then like, I don't know, let's say you wanted to change the title text color, you could do that. So ETPB post entry title A, or sorry, ETPB post hover entry title A, and then change the color. And the reason you need to do that in CSS, if I was to go in here to the title settings, right, and change it on hover, like let's say I add a hover effect here like this, and let's say I change that to green. Let's check it out. And that actually works because of the exception where the title is spread out over the whole thing. But you see that, how it's changing when I just hover. So like again, I changed the green for on the title, but the green's changing when I hover over any part of it. And another thing we could do, like our tutorial on the image zoom effect. So this one here, you know, how to add a hover, zoom, rotate effect. That one's really cool. Like when you hover over the post, instead of just the image, it would zoom in. Because, you know, depends how you do it. If you would apply that tutorial and hover over the image, then it would zoom. But we would probably want it, you know, to affect, now that we have the whole thing a link, you'd want it to be when I hover up over like this, that image zooms in. So there you go. I hope this all made sense, and why, I guess the reason behind why I did this tutorial and make it all clickable is because of, you can see how all those things kind of fit together and, you know, make one ultimate, you know, maybe a blog grid where it's just all working together. So I hope this was, you know, a good explanation of why we are doing this. All right, so there you go. That's how we can make the entire blog module clickable like that. If you enjoyed this quick little pro tip, then be sure to subscribe. And we also have a whole bunch in the blog series, a whole bunch of fun stuff, and there's more to come. So be sure you're following along so you don't miss that. That's what you're going to get if you're here on this channel. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.